They say life is made of moments, but if you look closer, you'll realize it's actually made of micro moments, little sparks of connection, often so fleeting that we miss their magic. Yet, they have the power to change our biology, our psychology, and even our destiny. Think about it. A stranger smiles at you in the market. For a second, you feel lighter. A child waves at you from a passing car window. You wave back, and your day suddenly feels less heavy. A friend puts a hand on your shoulder in silence. No words, just presence, and you feel understood. These are micro moments of connection. They are short, simple, and easily overlooked. But science now tells us they might be the most important fuel for our emotional wealth. The concept comes from the work of Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, a leading researcher in positive psychology. She calls them micro moments of love, not love in the romantic sense, but in the human sense, the brief experiences of connection, warmth, or shared emotion between people. Here's where it gets fascinating. When these micro moments occur, our bodies release a hormone called oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone. Oxytocin reduces stress, increases feelings of trust, and even lowers blood pressure. In other words, a single moment of genuine connection can leave behind physical traces in your body. It doesn't stop there. Micro moments also synchronize heart rhythms. Yes, you heard that right. When two people share a deep laugh, or even hold eye contact with empathy, their heartbeats can begin to align. Think of that. For a few seconds, your body is literally in rhythm with another person. What does that mean? It means that connection isn't just emotional, it's biological. Now let's zoom out. Imagine these moments are like small deposits in your emotional bank account. On their own, they may feel insignificant, but over weeks, months, and years, they accumulate. They grow. They create resilience. They create joy. They create emotional wealth. This is why people who regularly experience micro moments of connection live healthier, happier, and even longer lives. Harvard's famous study of adult development, which tracked people over decades, found that the quality of relationships is the single most reliable predictor of long-term happiness and health. Not wealth, not fame, not success. Relationships. And relationships are nothing but layers upon layers of micro moments. So why does this matter? Because we often think connection requires grand gestures, lavish dinners, lifelong commitments, deep conversations under the stars. But the science shows something else. It's the small things repeated often that build the strongest bonds. A gentle smile to your partner in the morning. A quick thank you to the barista. A moment of stillness with your child, listening to their story even if you're tired. These are the real wealth multipliers. But here's the challenge. Our modern lives are designed to steal these moments away. We rush, we scroll, we multitask. We sit at dinner tables looking at screens instead of faces. We treat connection like a luxury instead of the lifeline that it is. And in doing so, we bankrupt our emotional bank accounts. So, how do we reclaim these micro moments? The answer is simpler than you think. First, slow down and notice. Connection cannot bloom if you're not present enough to see it. The next time someone smiles at you, pause, receive it. Let yourself feel the warmth before moving on. Second, initiate small gestures. Don't wait for grand opportunities. Compliment a stranger's scarf. Ask your colleague how their morning really was. Whisper a kind word to your partner before sleep. Every time you create one of these micro moments, you're not just lifting someone else, you're enriching yourself too. Third, practice shared attention. Put away distractions. When you speak to someone, look into their eyes. Let your body language say, I'm here. I see you. You matter. That simple act can create micro moments strong enough to ripple for years. Now you might ask, how do these moments connect to the bigger picture of our lives? Here's a beautiful truth. Micro moments shape identity. They remind us that we belong, that we are loved, that we are seen. They add invisible threads to the fabric of community. And when life feels unbearable, it's often those tiny threads that keep us from unraveling. There's a hadith that says, "Do not belittle any good deed, even meeting your brother with a cheerful face." This is precisely the wisdom science is catching up to now, that small, sincere gestures hold immeasurable value. A cheerful face, a warm word, a moment of listening. These are acts of worship and connection both. Let me share a story. A man once told researchers about the day he was going to take his own life. On his way, a stranger smiled at him on the street. Just a smile. And it stopped him long enough to reconsider. That stranger never knew, but in that fleeting micro moment, he had saved a life. That's the scale we're talking about. The tiniest act of connection may be the turning point in someone else's unseen battle. Which means every smile, every kind word, every shared laugh is not just small, it's sacred. Now let's bring this back to you. If life is a bank, then micro moments are the coins. Every day you have the power to deposit or withdraw. Will you walk past others, heads buried in your phone? That's a withdrawal. Will you pause to acknowledge, connect, and share presence? That's a deposit. Over time, your account grows, and so does your ability to weather storms. Micro moments also redefine success. We're taught to measure our lives by milestones, degrees, jobs, houses, anniversaries. But the real measure of wealth may be simpler. How many moments today did I truly connect? How many people left my presence feeling lighter than before? How many micro moments did I honor? So, if you take anything from this message, let it be this. Don't underestimate the power of small connections. They are not fillers. They are not extras. They are the essence. The soul of life hides in these tiny exchanges. And tomorrow, when you step out of your home, remember, you don't need to change the world in one dramatic act. You just need to share a smile, listen with sincerity, or touch someone's hand with kindness. These are not micro, they are monumental, because when repeated, they create love, health, meaning, and ultimately, emotional wealth. The soul bank of your life is waiting for deposits, and the smallest coin has the greatest value. So today, give more, notice more, receive more, and watch how life itself begins to feel richer, one micro moment at a time.